In our Access Manual Extract file, we're going to have a look at inserting a number of characters that are extremely useful when working with a document. And those are the space, a line, a soft break, and a page break. Inserting a space, probably the easiest thing you could ever do. It's the big horizontal bar on the bottom of your keyboard will insert a space. And hey presto, you have a space. You need 2, you press it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you do need to space things out a little more than a single space, personally, I would not advise multiple spaces. I would suggest using the Tab key. So the Tab key is over on the left next to the Q, and when you press the Tab key, you get about an inch. And each time you press the Tab key, you move another inch. And we do explore the tab later on in the title, looking at how you can set your own, but the default tabs are about that 1 inch gap. And you can go forwards, and you can even go backwards by doing the backspace delete key, and you'll see that that will jump 1 tab at a time. Now, if you need to indent things quickly and easily and align them, the Tab key is the best option to go with rather than trying to count a number of spaces. A space really is just for a gap between one word and the next so that you can read it, not for spacing out items. Preference there would be to use the Tab. Inserting a new paragraph. If we were here, for example, and we wanted this point here where the cursor is flashing before a database to start a new paragraph, we would simply press the return key or the enter key. It does the same thing. It starts a new paragraph. So you can see that that then wraps round. Now, although there isn't a space between this line and this line, they are separate paragraphs. The return causes a separate paragraph, and you can tell that when you do your little double click here in the margin, because it only picks up those 2 lines. And that only picks up those 2 lines. So they are treated as separate paragraphs. If you wanted to start a new line but be in the same paragraph, let's go back to here and just press delete to remove that break. If we hold down the shift and put enter, although it looks the same, the shift enter is actually classed as a soft break. It does not start a new paragraph, but it does start a new line. So if I now double click here to select the paragraph, it selects all 4 lines because they are actually the same paragraph. Now that can be extremely useful, very, very useful when we're looking at bullets, and fairly useful now for keeping text in the same paragraph, but being able to start a new line. Now in the case of the actual break you get between, in this particular document it's the same because there hasn't been a paragraph setting made to give a bigger break, but the paragraph settings will allow you to put a bigger break for the return, and the soft return would not have that same break. It would just start a new line. So that's a soft return is shift enter. A hard return, so a new paragraph, is the enter key on its own. Removing either of them just requires you to go back to where you want it to come to, or at the beginning. If we're at the beginning, we do backspace delete, and that brings us round. If we're at the place where we would like it to come back to the cursor, then we just use the delete key to bring it back round. And that would be the case whether it was a hard or a soft return. If you remember the paragraph markings we looked at earlier, if I do a soft return now and look at those, you can see that that's an arrow pointing to the left. If I delete that and do a hard return, so just enter, then it becomes a backwards P to indicate a paragraph. So although invisibly the result does look the same, with the paragraph markings on you can see that it's not the same. A soft and a hard return are 2 completely different things. Let's turn those off. If you need a piece of text to start a new page, for example here, what is Access 2013, I might like that to start at the top of the next page, then instead of return on its own or shift return, we do control return, so control and the enter key. That forces that point on to where the cursor is to start the top of the next page, and that's a page break. Now again, a bit like the soft and the hard, they are invisible, so we don't know why there's this big gap here until the text starts here, until we use the paragraph markings, and you'll see that there's the page break. And that's what causes that text to go to the top of the next page. We can then come here and start filling in. This is okay to type here, and our what is Access 2003 still stays at the top of the next page. If we were to fill this whole page in here with more text and then start moving into this next page, so into page 2, then what is Access 2003 would move to the top of page 3. That page break would always cause this text here to be at the top of the next page. To delete a page break, we simply go here, what is Access 2003 and do the backspace delete, which brings us back round to where we were and removes the page break. Take the markings off so we can see the text. Probably need an enter there just to space it back out. So we have a space, tab, soft and a hard paragraph break, and then a page break. All achievable through the keyboard. Control Enter for the page break, normal Enter for the paragraph, return paragraph break, Shift Enter for the soft return, space for a space, and tab for a tab.